We have a voicemail number, and that number is 219-2 David P. Here's a caller with a very specific question. Take a listen to this.
Hey, David, Sonny, hey, question for you. So this is maybe like more of a medical expert question when it comes to maybe...
And I, even though I am not a medical expert, I'm glad to answer as if I were.
Potential human hibernation, the pandemic, and kind of people forced to stay indoors a long time in the winter when it's cold. You know, is it possibly like that some sort of like, how do I say, like, you get what I'm saying? Like maybe there's some topics or something.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, the idea is we've got a pandemic, and in the winter it's flu season, etc. I have COVID right now, as I talked about yesterday. What if I or we, when it starts to be flu season, could hibernate? Could humans hibernate, skip the entire flu season? First of all, if it were possible, I don't know that it actually saves us from flu season. It might just shift it around. I'm just not sure about that. Okay, that's number one. But number two, let's talk about hibernation. There is no evidence that is very good that humans are able to go into hibernation, which would be like an extended state of torpor, I think is the way that we would say. There's no evidence of that in what would be called accepted medical science right now. The idea is widely discussed. It's been explored in science fiction. The idea of using some kind of human hibernation or reduced metabolic state for long space travel has been talked about. These are not new ideas, but there are only speculative commentaries that it's theoretically possible. You can find papers that say, ancestors to humans, pre-human ancestors had the biological mechanics required for hibernation, and maybe with the right technology or modifications, it's something that humans might be able to do. The idea of cryogenic preservation for people, so that in the future, if certain diseases could be cured or whatever the case, maybe people could be reanimated. It's big topic, big business, but it is quite speculative. And that's sort of like where the science is right now, and much is being researched. But here's another thing. Wouldn't that be very difficult socially? Because even if you could technologically and medically figure out human hibernation, how would that work socially and culturally and psychologically? It seems like it would be a really difficult thing. I don't know. That's just my sense right now, but an interesting question nonetheless. We have a fantastic bonus show for you today.
Oh, the bonus show where you want to make money. Everybody else that makes money to fund themselves is bad.
The money on the bonus show is just crazy. You should see it. On today's bonus show, Joe Biden has the idea to make South Carolina the first Democratic primary. What does South Carolina think of it? We will talk about that on the bonus show. Number two, remember Michael Avenatti? He's been sentenced to prison for 14 years for fraud, and it is wild, wild stuff. Our friend Farron Cousins, who was brutally assailed by Avenatti, is thrilled. And we will also talk about 9 million Americans who were wrongly told that they were approved for student loan debt forgiveness. How did it happen, and what's the story? We will talk about all of it and more on today's bonus show, which you can access by signing up right now. Now, you could do it later. I would do it right now at joinpacman.com.